Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of The Devil's Due. I am your host, Carl Duty. Court is back in session. With me, as always, is a man who, I'm not going to lie, folks, I'm really surprised he's not playing Metroid Prime right now, or Metroid Samus Returns, or Metroid the long-awaited Rebirth on his Game Boy dual screen advance 3D, 4D, 6th dimension portable system, Mr. Drew Celestino.
Wow. I mean, you're not wrong with all those descriptors. It's kind of
trick question. What goes on longer, the title of Nintendo's latest handheld or a 90s Street Fighter II title?
Well, I mean, it is formally the 3DS, but in the big grand scheme of Nintendo's family of products, it's a Game Boy. It's advanced
Game
dual
Boy.
Screen.
It's a distant cousin of the Game Boy.
More or less.
Yeah.
But what was I doing when you came in here?
You were playing it. You were playing the game. I honestly thought you were. Seriously, I'm surprised you didn't bring it with you.
Oh,
just
no.
Just because, like, sometimes you could check out and just kind of like, what was the scene from Wayne's World? Wayne's World 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't do that to you. That would be terrible. I have to be engaged here.
Here we are, sir.
Hi.
Back again.
Yes, sir.
Feels good to be back.
Always.
How, let's get to the opening statements. How was your week, sir?
It's pretty good. I'm kind of on the mend. I'm in the
Can we say we've kicked it?
No. Unfortunately, no. It's lingering a bit, but if I had to put a percentage on it, I'm at like 94%. 94% back to normal. I have some residual sinus stuff going on, and just a little bit of hint of a cough left, mostly when I sing, unfortunately, so I'm trying to get back in the swing of rehearsing and warming up and stuff, and it's like every now and again I have to cough, and it's but
so you're saying you're going to metal it out of your system?
I guess. I think being tough and metal is how I got into this mess, by not allowing myself the proper rest and relaxation and whatnot. So,
well, that age she sneaks up on you.
It's not so much that; it's more like your responsibility. It's like, oh yeah, I'm sick. You know what? No, we're going to go to Vermont. And I'm gonna, you know what? Go to bed early. No, sir. I have Friday and Saturday night to drink beer and hang around. And
Vermont's got syrup. I'm sure some of it's cough.
Yeah. No. So I probably should have. I probably could have taken better care of myself.
Well,
so,
lesson learned.
I guess.
Or
so.
Is it?
Yeah. It had.
Okay.
It's learned.
All right.
In any case, that's good. I'm feeling a little bit back, a little on the mend. The beer, the stout, the Darkness Imprisoning Me stout, award-winning, that is in secondary. Transferred that over. Listener Tom will appreciate that. With the 20 ounces of cold brew coffee in it. So that's going to be nice and tasty. I did the math on that, by the way, and that roughly comes out to about half an ounce of coffee per bottle. That is...
So it'll get you drunk and awake at the same time.
I'm not sure how concentrated but that half ounce is going to be in you, but theoretically, it's an upper and a downer in one.
It's just good and level.
You already got to chase it with anything. So that's good. The wife was away for the last few days, so I had the weekend to myself. She went to Kansas City for a wedding, so I've been taking care of the house and taking care of the pups and whatnot, but I've used this time to kind of... I don't want to make this sound worse than it is, but I use this for some me time to get some stuff done, stuff done.
Yeah.
So this is not to imply that being married and domestic life is a hindrance to the creative my creative energies, but it kind of is at times when I want to just lock myself in here and write music and turn up the music a little bit so I can feel it and really engage. It can be hard to do that at times when you have someone else in the household, especially when you're all on the same floor, until I get my studio set up downstairs. And even then, I bet it's going to be a little tricky. But in any case, I use that time to get some work done. So I did some work on one song that is not necessarily going to be a Long Cold Dark song at all, actually. It's kind of part of this other thing that I'm doing that may or may not surprise you if it ever sees the light of day. And then I got...
RoboCop tribute album?
No. Although I did do a 2-ish minute version of the RoboCop theme song in heavy metal fashion for a podcast that never happened.
Can I hear it after we're done?
Sure.
Yay!
One of these years I'll put it on this show, maybe. Just for,
Close it out.
Close out for fun. If we ever get to talk about RoboCop en masse, it might be thematically accurate, appropriate. And the other thing I did work on is I got about half a song done for the band. That, well, in theory, it will be a song on the next record. So it's in the demo stage where I just get things arranged and laid out and see how it goes. And I'm really liking it so far. So that's a good development. Felt good to kind of get that rolling. And once I really get things rolling like that, it's one of those things where once the ball is rolling, things can escalate quickly. And I had a good little creative process there for a few days. So that was cool. On top of that, we had Long Cold Dark rehearsal with our new drummer. I think we're going to make a formal announcement about all this very soon. I've been kind of cryptic about it, but I'm pretty comfortable with it all. We all then hung out that evening on Saturday. So me, my guitar player Jason, and drummer in question.
Cool.
We hadn't hung out in a long, long time together, and it was great. It was really cool to hang out and just listen to music and talk music and catch up on stuff, and really engaging, really inspiring. So that was cool. And Sunday was kind of kickback day, football day of sorts. Whatever.
Bills game.
Air quoting the football day. Basically, It's me hanging out at my dad's house drinking beer. So
yeah,
and that's totally cool.
You know what I've come to realize this football season? I feel the exact same way about football now that you feel about Star Wars. I can't miss you if you don't go away. Football's like kind of 365 days a year now.
Yeah.
Like coverage and discussion, everything.
Did I tell you about how I felt on opening night of the NFL?
Of not the first Bills game, but
the first game.
NFL Week 1.
Yeah.
The Thursday night game was Kansas City, New England.
That's the game.
Yeah.
I remember sitting on my couch.
Yeah.
And I was just going on Twitter, and I was like, Twitter was bombarded with football. And then I checked my Facebook feed, and like, sure enough, a lot of people on my wall are just football.
Yay, football.
And all I could think in that moment, opening day of the season, my only thought in my head that popped in was, I'm already sick of football. It's week 1
because you don't get a chance to get away from it. You don't get a chance to get away from it.
Oh, anyway, so yeah, but productive things that happened on top of the productive musical things. I've been reskirting the deck back there.
Yeah.
So it's going okay, but I'm starting to get into the problematic side of the deck. So I've got this giant, I don't know if it's a hydrangea, I don't know what it is, but it's big. It's very big. I got a big plant back there. And trying to get behind it to use a power tool and zip in these boards, not fun. I can't quite reach in there to get it in there. So
can you like go underneath the deck and kind of approach it from the rear?
No.
All right.
No, it's basically this is an audio medium, so it's going to be lost on you. But let's say I've got this much room behind the plant to get it. I can get the board in.
Yeah,
the drill is this big. My power drill. It doesn't fit. It's a problem. So working my way around.
Yep.
Almost there. I'm going to need more boards to do it.
You could go to if it's going to be...
I need one of those compact drills.
Yeah, I was about to say, just run up to Home Depot, pick up one of those. If you got more planks like that, it might be worth it. You never know.
Yeah. If I justify buying another power tool, it's going to have to be like, I'm going to justify it by saying I'm going to use this power tool when I build my basement, whatever it is, the cave, the studio /
Yeah.
Drew zone. We'll see. There could be power tools in my future. That could be fun.
Power tools are good.
So that was kind of not fun, but fun just to get it done. So adult of me.
Yeah.
And I had a little NJPW night with our good friend Jay Gelsomino on Sunday as well.
Hey, you know what Jay didn't do this week?
What's that?
Watch Casino.
Well, he's a busy guy.
Well, keep in mind, he said last week that he promised you would watch
And
Casino.
what did I say about that?
I know. No. Don't get me wrong. Vegas wasn't even taking bets on that.
No,
There was like,
no.
no, it's a sure thing. He's not watching Casino.
They bet on, and they'll let you bet on anything.
Yeah.
Even they said no. So really, that's about it, man. That's it. That's the week.
Cool.
Yeah, productive. Wife is back, so good thing I got some stuff out of the way because I'm probably gonna have to be kind of lazy for a little while now. Got to put that time in.
Well, yes, she's your wife, and
I know.
that she should be getting some of that time.
She'll get the time, but I'm really dialed in right now with what I want to do. But that's okay. Like, I want to get this song done. Hopefully that happens. Can't put it on the back burner forever.
All right.
Oh, and I got some more vinyl, too. So I really got to get this. We were just talking before we started the show about the surround sound potential in my big room. Part of that is I got to get a record player in there because I have a budgeting. Is that the word?
Blossoming?
Blossoming. That's at least I know that's a word.
Yeah.
Collection of vinyl, and I want to start playing it. So
Percentage of the collection that is not Metallica?
most of it. I only have a few Metallica records.
Okay.
Basically, I could go and seek out the old records on vinyl now, or I just wait as they come out in the remastered format.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Over the next 5 to 10 years. So I've got the first two records in the remastered vinyl, and I have played them at my father's house, and they sound tremendous. So Puppets comes out in November. That will be tremendous. So if that's the pace they're going, that's the pace they're going. I'll just get them as they come. That's fine. If I could score some cheapies on maybe the 90s records, because those might be a while before they get to remastering them, then maybe I'll do that. But no, it's mostly Nine Inch Nails and Gojira and Machine Head. And I do have... Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I have a very limited Strapping Young Lad vinyl as well that is autographed by Devin Townsend. So, I would like to play that once in a while. Anyway.
Cool.
Yeah. That's the week. I am done. Sir, how are you?
I am doing all right. Week was pretty eventful. Let's see, Wednesday. I don't think anything I went. Basically, the week started Thursday night. William, my beloved 1-year-old, is popping 2 molars at the same time.
This kid's got all the teeth.
God, I hope so. Because 1 molar by itself is a pain. 2 molars at the same time, no es bueno. It's not fun. Thursday night and Friday night sleep was optional for Julianne and myself. So yeah, Thursday was X-Wing night. Redeemed myself a little bit from my previous week's showing, which 2 weeks ago I went 0-3. Last week I went 3-1.
All right.
So
You're back.
yeah, well, I'm still a work in progress as an X-Wing player. So that was Thursday night. Friday was Julie's birthday. A happy birthday, my dear sweet wife. We started out the day recovering from the night before, very little sleep. And we ended up, we went to the zoo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was
I love the zoo.
first time I'd been at a zoo in years.
Oh.
I think like well over 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And can I just say something?
Yeah.
Every time we went to an enclosure and we didn't see the animal right away,
Yeah.
or like they were not there for whatever reason, like the rhinoceros wasn't there, and we didn't see it, every time that happened, I said the same thing to myself. Rhinoceros doesn't want to be fed. Rhinoceros wants to hunt.
Yeah. I think the last time I was there was when they still had the polar bear cub when it was still a baby.
They ain't babies anymore.
It was so
Those suckers
cute.
are big.
They're still cute.
Had some baby gorillas.
Aww.
Gorilla, I'm not gonna lie, gorilla enclosure is kind of sad to go through. Like, it's cool to see them.
The
but
Buffalo Zoo one is because it's not nearly large enough. But I've been to other ones that are much larger, and I don't feel quite as bad.
Yeah.
Because in the wild they will be endangered. So
Yeah. Tiger was cool to see. Lions are lazy as all get out. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Feel bad for them too, but
yeah. It was a good time. Had fun. Then we got home, and I was wanting to invite a bunch of people over for a bonfire, just kind of celebrate a birthday. But we were so dusted, just from the night before, and walking around the zoo all day.
yeah.
And we also didn't have any outdoor chairs. We loaned them all out to a friend for her kid's first birthday party.
Just sit on the grass.
Yeah, just sit on
the damp lawn.
So we ended up not doing that. And Friday night was another rough night with William. And that's Friday night was probably the toughest night because the night before he was kind of like, fall asleep for an hour or so, wake up, cry for like 20 minutes to a half an hour, and then fall asleep for a stretch, wake up, cry. Friday night was cry for almost 3 hours straight. And we'd given him the Tylenol. We'd done everything we could for him outside of just holding him and comforting him. And it was just it kills you. But then, unfortunately, he fell asleep for the rest of the night, and we were able to get some sleep. Saturday, I started off the day with an X-Wing tournament.
Yeah?
Oh, no. Mr. Good Dice Roll, he not here.
Ouch.
Yeah. It was bad.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
The first game, I flew my ships properly, but I hate blaming dice, but
they just weren't following your way?
No. There's a upgrade card, a weapon upgrade called Twin Laser Turrets. It's very big in the meta of the game right now. You see it a lot at tournaments and in play in general because it's a very good weapon. It's not high damage, but it's more or less almost guaranteed damage.
Okay.
Because you attack with it twice in one shot. So you roll 3 dice, and then regardless of how many hits come up on the dice, it just counts for 1 hit. But then you roll 3 dice again, same time, regardless of how many hits comes up, it counts for 1 hit.
Okay.
It's a good weapon because the defender has to cancel all the dice in order to dodge one of the attacks.
Gotcha.
So if you're...
it's a high percentage move.
Yeah. So if you're a ship that only has 1 defense dice and I rolled 2 hits, there's pretty much no point in you rolling. The damage is going to go through regardless.
Sure.
Out of 6 rolls with that weapon, I got 1 damage.
Oh, God. That's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. And then, on another, there's a proximity mine. Bombs are also very big in the meta right now. I dropped the proximity mine.
X-Wing catching up to GoldenEye, I see.
Yeah. There you go. I dropped the proximity mine perfectly. And guy rolled 3 blanks. Now I had Cad Bane as a crewman, which allowed me to make him re-roll those. And he got was a focus. So 6 dice, no damage. I was like, you know what? No.
It's that kind of tournament.
Yeah. It was, I went 0-2. The second game, I flew one of my ships completely wrong. I did something stupid. And I was like, you know what? I'm dropping from the tournament. I have no chance to win. We got this whole other thing we got to go to. So, I'd like to show up and support the tournament. Because the guy who runs it is a really good guy, James. And there's a league starting up this week, which is really interesting. It's called the Bounty Hunters League.
Mm-hmm.
So you can only play as Rebels or Imperials, but in your build you have to have either a bounty hunter pilot with the ship or crew. So
interesting concept.
The theme of it is that the Rebels or the Imperials are hiring bounty hunters to fight with them.
Okay.
Now the cool thing about this is if you have a unique pilot, it's not like, Bob the X-Wing pilot, if you got Wedge or Luke or something like that. Yeah. If you have them in their build and they get destroyed, they're dead. You can't use them for the rest of the league. So it's kind of cool. We'll see how that goes. So Saturday, after the X-Wing tournament, we went to our friend Callie's daughter's first birthday. And William had his first party foul.
Uh-oh.
He puked on the hostess.
Well...
Yeah.
Better better now than when he's old enough to know better.
Yeah, that's true. Gave him a piece of pasta salad and...
No, sir?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So, yeah. That was,
now we know.
That was fun. Knowing is half the battle.
Heard that somewhere.
Yeah. Finished Deadwood this past weekend.
Okay. That's
older,
but catching
up. Like I said, I'm going through like the old HBO shows I've always heard were good. And disappointed that there's no more of it.
Sure.
Like it was canceled, so there's no resolution.
Yeah, Carnival was that way too.
Yeah. But it was good. I enjoyed it, but again, I could see why it was canceled. And then we started Vice Principals this week.
Yes!
That's a great show.
Did you watch Eastbound and Down?
No.
If you like one, you're gonna like the other. It's like that. You need to watch Eastbound and Down.
Julie was very caught off guard by Vice Principals.
Oh yeah,
like she knew it was a comedy, but she didn't know the type of comedy it was.
Sure.
So yeah.
Oh, I think Jen would hate both Eastbound and Down and Vice Principals. So I just watch it with the bros, and we season 2 started this week, so we watched that on Monday. Watched the first episode.
So is it just like I saw the advertisements for season 2? This is like the last season. It's just
That's
two-season show.
Two-season show. That's it. Eastbound went for 4, I think, 3 or 4, and I could easily watch more Eastbound and Down in a heartbeat.
I really like Danny McBride.
Yeah.
Constant Danny McBride might be a little tough to swallow.
He's amazing.
He's great.
It's all about the supporting cast, though.
Yeah.
And the Vice Principals, he's got Walton Goggins to bounce off of, who is also tremendous.
Fantastic.
And Eastbound, I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who plays his wannabe best friend, Stevie Janowski.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you will cry laughing.
Yeah.
At Eastbound and Down.
Again, Dan McBride's great, but he's also kind of one of those that kind of plays the same character in each thing he's in.
Yeah. His character is not much different in Eastbound and Down than it is in Vice Principals, but he's so good at it that I don't care.
Yeah. He's great.
Just an irreverent jerk. It's amazing.
Yeah. I think Sunday was kind of laid back and chill. Like I said, football.
Yay, football.
Yeah. And then Monday I had off. Where'd we go? Ran some errands, nothing major.
Cool.
Yeah, that was pretty much my week.
Giddy up.
Yep. Dear listeners, if you would like to tell us about your week, you would like to send us any questions or comments to be read on the air, you can find us at the following social media locations. You can find us on Twitter at Devils Do Pod. You can go to facebook.com/Devils Do Pod. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com. And you can find all these resources available to you on our website, thedevilsdopodcast.com. That being said, Drew, time for cross-examination.
Giddy up.
All right, coming up first, we have a question from Mr. Adam, who has written the show before, and we always appreciate his questions. Carl and Drew, I am in the midst of watching Defenders and taking heed to your warnings. I never finished Iron Fist.
Okay, welcome to the club, man.
However, it seems like he is getting the greatest spotlight in terms of the story narrative. Do you think this was a mistake due to how much his standalone series was panned? I do believe with all the other heroes, he is much more palatable. He should just fight and not talk at all would be well. Go Bills. Adam's a big Bills fan.
Go Bills, I guess. I don't know that they had time to make it a conscious decision.
Yeah. No,
I think this was part of the plan all along. Fortunately, he is more of a minor player in terms of dialogue so far in Defenders. Everyone kind of gets equal time as far as I can tell in Defenders so far.
Yeah, I think we've both agreed that he's much better in Defenders than he was in Iron Fist.
Yeah, he's more palatable and he's more fun when he's bouncing off of other people that we do like.
Yeah.
When he's not carrying his own show, as it were, he's a little more tolerable.
Yeah.
So, I don't think that was part of I don't think there was a conscious effort though. I don't think they had time. They basically went from production from one right into the other, I believe. So, But I know for sure they heard the criticisms for Iron Fist as a show, and season 2 will be reflective of that. So look forward to that.
Booyah. Thank you, Adam, for your questions. Next up, Mr. Always true to his word, Mr. J. Jelson. If he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it.
His word is bond.
Unless it's watching Casino.
Yeah. Maybe,
What is that anything if you didn't say, I promise I'll watch it this week?
Maybe Devil's Due movie night. We'll watch Casino. It's a long movie night.
No.
No?
We're going to let him do this one on his own.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
I think, between your previous show and this show...
He's had ample opportunity?
Yes.
All right. Fair enough.
We love you, Jay.
Yeah.
We love you wholeheartedly. But we hurt you because we love. Watch the dang movie.
It's a good movie.
It is a great movie. All right. Carl and Drew, what do you think is the most worthless job in the Marvel Universe? Thing's dermatologist. Matt Murdock's optometrist.
Well, okay.
Wolverine's primary care physician. Jessica Jones' AA sponsor. Or Red Skull's rabbi.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We went dark there at the end.
Worthless? You boy. I mean, okay, let's work through these, shall we? Let's start at the bottom. Let's get this out of the way. The Red Skull may have use for a rabbi in some nefarious plan where he tries to subvert the Jewish population onto his side, unbeknownst to them, and then in the end he would swerve them once, it's a big evil plot kind of twist deal.
Yeah.
So maybe he's got some purpose, maybe.
Possibly.
Wolverine.
Jessica Jones is AA sponsor.
Well, she's cleaned up her act, has she not? She has a kid now with Luke Cage, and they have a little family dynamic going.
I'm not reading her current series. I am reading Defenders, which A is awesome.
Okay.
B seems to reflect more of a
mature
Netflix Jessica Jones.
Oh, she's back to...
Her relationship status with Luke is unclear.
Okay. Well, that job has... She's going to need that, it seems, in her life intermittently. So that's a useful position. Then what do we have there? We have Wolverine's
primary care physician. That gets my vote.
Well, the healing factor does come and go. He may be in need of medical attention at some point. It's been wonky. He had that whole period where
But even if he did need the medical attention, would he go and get it?
Yeah.
I don't think
if it's die or go to a doctor, I think Wolvie's going to at least, survival instincts kick in, right? I mean, at some point. Chuck is a doctor, is he not?
Chuck is dead. Still.
Oh, yeah. Well, all right. Well,
technically so is Wolverine.
Right. Well, yeah, there is that. So we'll chalk that up one. That's got potential. Daredevil's optometrist. Well, that's pretty useless, is it not?
I mean, kinda. There might be some, long-term care that's needed from any tissue scarring from the incident or whatnot. I don't know.
Maybe. Okay, we got another contender here.
Yeah.
Thing's dermatologist. I don't think the Thing has to worry much about that. No. Like, what's he going to tell him to do? Moisturize?
Thing doesn't go to a dermatologist. He goes to a geologist.
That's exactly.
Hey,
yes. Let's see. So between the two, we'll go with Wolverine's primary care.
Okay. That was my vote.
Okay. I'm with you.
Okay, Drew.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Doom?
Ooh.
The video game, the 90s WCW tag team of Ron Simmons and Butch Reed, Doom Patrol, or Dr. Doom?
Oh. We can throw out the tag team out of hand. Sorry, Ron. I love you, but yeah.
Were they just called Doom?
Yes. Not to be confused with the Dungeon of Doom.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we don't want to remember that, though. That was terrible.
The guy who looked like a blonde Kevin Smith.
Kevin Sullivan. And then we had the Giant and the Yeti and these colorful characters that...
Yeah.
Yeah. we forget all these things. So yeah, not them, and also not Rod Simmons. So they're out. So basically, it comes down to video game, Doom Patrol, which I do love, and Doctor Doom. Oh man, this is like, oh, that's so hard though. Phrasing.
One Doom to rule
One
them all.
Doom to rule them all. Well, you've got the greatest supervillain of all time.
Your opinion.
He's up there.
Oh, I'm not denying he's up there.
He's definitely up there. You've got one of the games that is on my Mount Games more of games. And then you've got Doom Patrol, which I do also love. Grant Morrison, all praise be unto him. And now the new series by Gerard Way, of all people that I never thought I would care about, but I do because it's very Morrisonian. Ooh.
Can I make an observation?
Yeah.
I think it kind of comes down between the game and Doctor Doom, because whereas Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol is great,
Yes.
Doom Patrol as a whole,
Yeah.
Grant Morrison is a very small part of it.
I would...
From Doom Patrol's creation to current day.
But if I can, I'm going to pull a Lumberg on you. Like, I'm going to have to go ahead and disagree with you there. You're right in terms of the time spent.
Yes.
But in terms of the legacy and the shadow over the property,
I'm just trying to help you with your
I feel you.
your
I feel you.
decision-making.
But because I don't want to belabor this any further, if I had to pick one Doom to rule them all, it's going to be Doom the video game. For one reason above the other two. Doom the video game has way more metal.
Okay. You're
And that's-
talking about the most recent one?
Classic and the most recent. Way more metal. And that's
Okay.
gonna get me.
Yeah.
That's gonna get my
Yeah.
attention.
More metal than Doctor Doom?
More metal than
I mean,
Dr.
the
Doom.
dude is...
He wears metal, but Doom is just metal.
Doom is an album cover, an
Come
80s
to
metal
life.
album cover that you could play.
Well, I wouldn't even peg it as the 80s anymore, because now it's the soundtrack is it's metal, but it's not period metal. It's just Mick Gordon did the Lord's work, on the new game, man. That soundtrack is stellar, and it's metal.
Alrighty.
But it's not dated. It's current, and it's hard, son.
Alrighty.
Yes.
Doom might pop up again later in the show.
Good.
You never know.
Good.
Okay, Carl, would you rather have the mortality rate of a Sean Bean character or have Alan win a game of Street Fighter against you? The mortality rate of a Sean Bean.
You're gonna have to
character.
elaborate on that for me.
Sean Bean, the actor who dies in pretty much everything he's in. Trying to think. You remember GoldenEye?
Oh boy, it's
The
been
movie,
it's been
not the game.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Ronin? See Ronin?
No.
You never saw Ronin?
No.
Oh, dude, you gotta see Ronin.
Okay.
It's really good.
Keep going.
You didn't see Lord of the Rings. You didn't
No.
watch Game of Thrones.
No.
Well, he's an actor. He dies in pretty much everything he's in.
Okay.
I'll just quickly bring up IMDb while I'm discussing this. So, yeah. The mortality of a Sean Bean character or lose to Alan in a Street Fighter match. You know what? I'm going to say lose to Alan in a Street Fighter match because I can lose to Alan in one Street Fighter match. That's fine. Alan will never beat me in like a set or like a first 5 or something like that. That's just not going to happen.
Never say never, but
I
at
mean-
least you're alive.
If he picks up the sticks now and, maybe in like 10, 15 years,
Wow.
it's going to...
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like a challenge.
You never know. He might have a natural talent for it. I'm by no means a great player, so you never know. But yeah, I'll take losing to Alan in a game of Street Fighter. Did you see The Martian?
Nope.
Jeez, man, watch a movie once in a while.
I do when they're made by Marvel Studios.
There's more out there than that.
I know there is. I have to get out more.
Yeah.
Apparently, this guy's hard to find. He's even dead on the internet.
He's got a lot of stuff. I just don't think it's anything you've seen.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I'll trust you.
All right. So, Jay, thank you very much, as always, for your questions. Next up, Mr. Alan Waiters. I go back to the right email app. Carl and Drew. When you were kids, which toy store did you prefer? KB Toys or Toys R Us?
This is a valid question.
Do you expect more toy stores to close or file bankruptcy? And do you blame online retailers like Amazon for the closings? Folks, quick little background on Alan. We love Alan. Don't get me wrong. We love Alan. We play games with him all the time. Alan's good people.
Hate on for Amazon.
Alan hates Amazon. He will constantly equate Amazon to Skynet.
And I contend that Skynet is self-aware and wants to kill all humanity, whereas Amazon is not self-aware. There is definitely someone at the top, and he wants to keep humanity for himself so that he can get all of our money.
Yep.
So,
and of course, Alan...
But I would ask, which is more nefarious?
Yeah.
If you really think about it.
Of course, Alan is referring to earlier this week Toys R Us announcing their declaring bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, sir. Which one, as a child, which one did you prefer?
You know, this is gonna... I'm gonna throw a curveball at you. Neither. I was a Child World kid.
As was I.
All right.
Child World was the best.
Thruway Mall Child World, man. I could still see it in my mind when I can still picture.
Yep.
I can still picture it.
Picture the logo, the blue globe with the panda bear on it.
Yep. Big red letters, Child World.
Yep.
Right in the building. And I love that store. God, I love that store so much.
Child World was the best. I would rank them like this: Child World, Toys R Us, KB.
Yes, agreed. You know what was funny about that? Child World was like the one I knew and I loved. Toys R Us was like because it was further away from where I lived as a kid, so it was hard. You know, it was a rarity that I got to go there. But when I did get to go there, it was like a big deal.
Yeah.
So it had that kind of mythical quality.
Yeah.
But I love Child World more.
Toys R Us was closer to me, and it had, like, Alan said to me, like, aren't I disappointed that I'm not going to have the fun experiences taking William to Toys R Us that, my father had with me? And my response was, Toys R Us is not the same place it used to be anymore.
Not really, no.
Like, just for the sole purpose of, first off, kids' toys they're more advanced, yes, but are they as good as they used to be? No.
Subjective. We're not kids anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
But I know what you're saying.
And just the 80s, early 90s video game experience of Toys R Us.
He'll never have the cage. He'll never have the cage.
Flipping the card up to look at the back of the box art, hoping a ticket was in the pocket.
Yeah.
And if a ticket wasn't in the pocket, you still went up to the cage. Because sometimes they might have miscounted the tickets.
Sure.
They might have had a return. So that's how I got Double Dragon.
Yeah.
That's how I got Double Dragon. The Child World. As far as these places going away, KB went away because they were the most expensive.
Yeah, I wasn't really into KB.
They were exclusive to malls and strip malls, so there's a high loitering factor there.
Yeah.
KB was one of those places that you went in to browse a product and then you went and bought it cheaper somewhere else. Toys R Us kind of just in the market is consuming Toys R Us because they were always
more expensive, and now you can't do that anymore. You got to compete price wise, and that's going to be tough for brick and mortar to compete with the internet for sure. I don't know the answer to that question. Ultimately, online is kind of taken over, man. I don't know. I don't think they can. I don't think Toys R Us is going to be the last. I think a lot of brick and mortar mainstays are going to go away.
The market reinvents itself. It goes through cycles and things like that. Some things stay for a little while, and some things are just consumed by the market. It's capitalism. It's how it works.
Yeah. I don't sound thrilled about that, do I? No. Anyway, moving on.
Carl, we are going through a 90s nostalgia phase.
Yeah, well, we had the 80s. Well, kind of, the 80s is still around, too.
Yeah.
Do
you see 2000s nostalgia phase happening in the next couple of years? If so, what memorabilia do you see returning?
Give it a little time.
It goes in cycles. I'm sure eventually we'll get to a 2000s nostalgia base. The one thing I can see being big again are Y2K t-shirts. Just 'cause. it's one of those things like hipsters will start wearing them, and then Hot Topic will pick them up, and yeah.
I'm holding out for Y2JP t-shirts.
Even I know what that means. Okay, so Drew, with the Nintendo Direct bombshell that was released last week,
is this where we're going to get into it all?
We're going to get into Nintendo Direct later on.
Okay.
Do you expect more third-party developers to finally get aboard the Nintendo train with the success of Samus Returns? Which classic Game Boy game would you like to see on the 3DS?
Okay. There's two questions there. Okay, let's start with the last one there. What other Game Boy games would I like to see on the 3DS? To be honest with you, none. I want everything on Switch now. And as much as I love Samus Returns right now, it is great. I would really like it more if I could play it on the Switch.
Yep.
And it's not even a matter of, it's
you don't need two portable devices.
I don't need two portable devices, and to be perfectly honest with you, the 3DS is not as comfortable to hold as my Switch Pro controller or even the Switch itself in handheld mode.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of irking me, to be honest with you. So anyway, but what game would I like to see? Like, what Game Boy game could they revive for the Switch and or 3DS? I wasn't my Game Boy library wasn't that deep, to be honest with you. But if I did have to pick one, just for the sheer oddballism of it, you'd think they would have done it by now, but they haven't. I'd be very curious for them to do some kind of remake of Super Mario Land, because Land was it was Mario, but it was different. It just felt a little different.
I think it was because it was.
Well, they had a whole different team on it.
Yeah, it was that, and also it was very early in the Game Boy's life.
It was
sure. Within, if I remember correctly, it was within the launch window of the original Game Boy.
Yep.
And we were used to Mario in a specific way, which was in color on a television on big screen. And the Game Boy was so revolutionary in what it was. Like, it wasn't the first handheld video game, but it was easily the best at that point.
Absolutely.
It was the first interchangeable game.
Yeah.
And, like, we all had those, like, old Tiger LCD games.
But they were garbage.
Yeah, they were junk.
You were getting a full game experience in a handheld for the first time, really.
Yeah, so I think that's in a lot of ways why Super Mario Land may have felt so different, other than the fact that it was a different team and there were just different aspects of Mario.
There was a level where you were like in a plane, like in a spaceship flying around. Like,
wasn't there one like in the submarine too?
Yeah. It was quirky.
I was actually talking to my friend Nate.
Yeah.
You remember Nate?
Oh, yeah.
He's written in the show a couple times. Nate, folks, actually has just started last week his own podcast called The Memory Machine.
Yes.
It's a retro podcast in the Geekiverse system and the Geekiverse lineup of shows. Definitely give that a listen to. I believe it's available on SoundCloud. Also check out Geekiverse.com for that show and many others from them. But he and I were talking last week about, and I mentioned that, like, I was always impressed at how the Game Boy weathered the very short-lived handheld wars.
It had the battery life.
It was like, well, yeah, it had the battery life.
That's what it came down to, man. It was cheap to run.
Yeah,
comparatively.
I mean, the Game Gear, the Lynx, the Turbo Express were all more powerful,
but they lasted for 5 minutes.
I had a Game Gear. Yeah, I had a Game Gear and a Lynx.
Man.
To me, out of all of them, the Lynx was the best.
I didn't have a Lynx.
The battery life was better than the Game Gear.
Game Gears was so bad.
Game Gears was really bad.
Man,
but, Lynx had some crazy fun games on it too.
Yeah,
and it was the only system that took into account if you were left or right-handed.
A lot of people bring that up, but I'm right-handed, so I don't care. But,
yeah, I know.
But it is cool. It was ahead of its time. It was
a quirky little thing.
Sure. Excuse me.
Turbo Express, people don't credit that machine for.
Never took off here, you know?
Yeah, you had like this machine that did exactly what the console did.
Yeah. Yeah, it just never took hold in America.
There's a great wrestling game for TurboGrafx 16. I forget what it was called.
I mean, well, in Japan they had the Wonder Swan and all those like that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of handhelds out there and they had killer titles too that we never even knew about. But anyway, Game Boy
outlasted.
It had Nintendo at its peak. Or what peak? It had Nintendo when Nintendo like owned gaming.
Yeah.
And it had great battery life, frankly, and the titles it did have were just fantastic. It had Mario. Tetris was, like it or not, I mean, as simple as a game as it is,
Yeah.
it was a system seller.
Yeah.
Castlevania, you had a couple games on there. Like there was a Zelda game on there.
Tetris was the first Wii Sports.
Kinda.
It was the first game that sold a system to casual gamers.
It really
didn't
did.
normally buy it.
Yeah.
But also Alan's question of
third
do you
parties.
expect more third-party developers to finally get aboard?
I at this point, I think it's safe to say yes, because it seems like they are. Capcom, at least, they are putting a little more effort in. Granted, they're ports, but then again, most of these games are ports that are coming over. But that's fine. Support is support, and with Bethesda and Capcom now going
Square.
and Square too, yeah, putting their money where their mouth is. Granted, not Final Fantasy 15 level, but that Octopath game got a lot of people are kind of buzzing about that game.
And we'll talk about more about.
Yeah, we're getting to that specifics. So yes, I feel like it's starting to build. The people are starting to get on board, and I feel like it's all coming. Everything's coming up Nintendo right now. So as long as they stock well for the holidays, they're in a great place, and I'm very okay with that.
Yep. So Alan, thank you very much for your questions, which brings our cross-examination to a close, which gets us right into the case files.
Do we just want to keep the ball rolling here, or what?
Well, no. Again, we have to give legends their due.
Legends get their due.
This week we lost 2 more legends, starting with Mr. Harry Dean Stanton, renowned. I hesitate to say character actor,
but it's kind of what he was, though. But he was so memorable, though. Like, he's not the kind of character actor who like faded into the background. He was a character actor that you saw and recognized and loved.
Yeah, and
he wasn't a leading man, but he was always there, and you recognized him, and he was always good in his role, always.
Yep. And also had a part in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Sure did.
Avengers.
You got a condition.
Yeah. He passed away this past week, age 91.
Oof. 91.
Just to,
he's got geek cred.
He's got Alien,
Repo Man.
Yep.
If you haven't seen Repo Man, watch Repo Man.
Yeah. And we mentioned he popped up in Avengers, just in so many great roles. 2 roles I love him most in. One was a very quick, brief cameo. Another one was a bit part, but it was a little more significant. The first one, the quick cameo, was in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. He was the judge who basically just dropped an axe and yelled castration, double castration. Very quick, very brief cameo. The other role I really enjoyed him in, probably one of my favorite roles of his, was in The Green Mile.
Oh, I got to think back to that.
He was the guy who they kind of did the run through of the execution with.
Okay.
And he would just be like, walking the mile, sitting down, getting my hair did.
That was him, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. I got to watch the movie again.
So, yeah. But,
I don't remember.
But again, so many people are going to remember him for Alien.
Oh, absolutely.
Just like his role in that iconic film. So, yeah, Harry Dean Stanton. I lost him this week. Next one we lost, very central key to our childhood, and Drew's probably going to take the reins on this one, but I will say this.
Uh-oh.
For all the times we have spoken about wrestling on this show, I have referred to it as a performance art. I do not consider it fake. It's by no means fake. It is a performance art, and within that realm of performance art, the ability to play the role of a great villain is an amazing blessing. And it can be argued that he is in the argument of greatest villain in wrestling history. And we are talking about none other than Bobby Heenan, who passed away this week. Better known to wrestling fans over as Bobby the Brain Heenan, a.k.a. the Weasel. Drew, you know what? You're going to be able to speak more passionately about this than I am, so you go ahead, sir.
Where do I begin? Bobby the Brain Heenan, it was, without question, the greatest heel manager, heel color commentator of all time, full stop. No one did it better. No one ever did it better. He was quick. He was the quickest witted mouth you've ever heard without missing a beat. He could make you laugh, but while getting over while being a heel, you wanted to hate him. He made you hate him. But he never missed a beat. He always got heat in the right ways for the guys that he managed. He had the Heenan family stable.
Yep.
He was a lightning rod for hatred. If you had to get a babyface over, put the guy with Bobby, have Bobby go out there and run his mouth, instant heat, instant credibility for anybody he managed. Basically,
Bobby Heenan could make you cheer for Donald Trump.
Probably could, actually. Bobby was so good. And as an adult, as you know, you start getting older and you're not a kid anymore and you realize like how good he is at his craft, then you become a fan and you realize how great he is. But, oh my God, dude. Royal Rumble 91, 92, I think. The one Ric Flair won. Induct that match in the Hall of Fame for his commentary alone. The way he puts over Ric Flair in that match, he's totally biased for Ric Flair. The whole match. Ric Flair goes in at number 3. He's in the match for like 60 minutes and wins. Heenan's commentary is a masterclass. He takes everyone to school on how to be a chicken, you know what, heel, but get Flair over as a heel, and while still being his manager, totally biased, making other guys the excuses he would come up with for guys doing nefarious things. Case in point, Shawn Michaels. This is one of the most famous examples. Shawn Michaels, when he turns on Marty Jannetty in the barbershop, when the Rockers break up, Shawn Michaels kicks Marty Jannetty in the face through the barbershop window. Bobby Heenan on commentary without missing a beat. Look at Jannetty, that coward, trying to escape through the window.
I remember that.
Amazing.
He started out as a wrestler, though.
He did in the 70s, and before that, maybe even. And he was a wrestler, and eventually, though, he just got out of it and started managing and using his comedic chops and timing as a host of Primetime Wrestling with Gorilla Monsoon. Everyone remembers that pairing. Gorilla and Bobby were the best.
Yeah.
Together, especially, they were just tremendous.
They were kind of the A team to
absolutely
the B team of Vince McMahon and Jesse Ventura.
Yep. And eventually Bobby and Vince and, on and on. Bobby could work with anybody. And then in WCW, obviously when he left, famously one of the greatest and yet saddest moments in Raw history when Bobby got fired from WWF and Gorilla Monsoon physically threw him out of the building on his last night. And he went to WCW. I didn't know that as a kid, but that's where he ended up. He was great there too. And just Bobby Heenan was the best. Unfortunately, he was diagnosed with throat cancer in the late 90s, early 2000s, and I mean he had part of his tongue removed. They did induct him into the WWE Hall of Fame in the early 2000s when he could still speak. He delivered one of, if not the best, acceptance speech ever given in that format. If you haven't seen it, kids, look it up on YouTube or on WWE Network. Bobby Heenan's induction speech is one of the best. And then he had parts of his jaw removed, unfortunately, and he hasn't been able to speak in many years. So the guy who was one of the funniest, best comedic timing, wittiest mouths in the business has not been able to speak in many years, and it's very sad. So while as sad as it is, to see him pass, in a way, it's I feel somewhat of it. Some of it is sort of a blessing. Like he's not suffering anymore, and
it's not one of these all too common stories with wrestlers from that generation that there was substance abuse involved, things like that.
No, not Bobby.
It was just his time.
It was his time.
Yep.
It's sad, man, because Bobby was just the best. I'm telling you. Royal Rumble 92, Survivor Series 93. I'm not sure. I think it's 93 or 94. When it was the Hart family, it was like Brett and Owen and their other two brothers versus Shawn Michaels and like his little stable of knights or whatever they had. And Stu Hart and Helen Hart were at ringside, the Hart parents.
Yeah.
Bobby's commentary. Oh my God. He is savage on the Hart family. And it is hilarious. It is the funniest thing. It's the funniest thing you've ever heard. Bobby was great. he will definitely be missed, man. Bobby was the best. I don't know if that he gets enough credit, to be honest with you, because he's been kind of alive but forgotten for the last little while.
Yep.
Now that he's passed, obviously he got his tribute on Raw, and now he's kind of, fans are reminded of how great he was, but anybody that knew how great he was. So it's unfortunate that he didn't get a little more recognition in the later years here, but Bobby Heenan, the best.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look up the Raw tribute on YouTube, because
I gotta
Raw
be honest,
tributes are usually...
I think they could have did better. It was good, not as good as Dusty's, not as good as other ones they've done. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like they could have did better for Bobby. Considering all the footage they had, they could have did better.
All right. Do you think maybe they shorted him a bit because he ended with WCW?
They own WCW. Who cares?
Yeah. All right.
But then again, Vince is very petty, so
yes,
maybe. Bobby. Oh, Bobby.
All right. Well, on to more enjoyable stuff.
Yes.
Earlier this week, we got a first look at Hellboy from the reboot of the movie that is coming. And surprisingly enough, you'd be fooled to think Ron Perlman is reprising the role, because dude looks exactly like Ron Perlman.
It looks like you could have fooled me.
It looks good.
It looks great.
It looks great, but it just looks exactly like Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
And granted, there's not like a lot of interpretational room with the appearance of the character. Like, this one's hair is down and up. But you know what? I'm okay with a Hellboy reboot.
Yeah, it's fine.
Because he's one of those characters that, it's not Marvel, it's not DC, it's something different. So,
let's see.
Different is always good.
I'm open to it. I just saw the picture, though, and I had to laugh. Like, why'd you even bother recasting? Like,
well, I don't think Perlman wanted to do it without Del Toro.
Okay. Well, that's fair. Fair enough.
Yep. Okay, so as we've mentioned, we not only are big video gamers, we are big board gamers as well.
Ooh.
Tried and true, always fun board game to play, great introductory game is King of Tokyo. And the company, Aiello, that produces King of Tokyo, announced a new expansion pack earlier this week. King Kong is coming to King of Tokyo. Now, a lot of people on the biggest board gaming website is Board Game Geek.
Okay.
A lot of people on the forums not happy with this.
Why?
Because
now there is a Kong analog in the game.
Yes.
Okay.
They're seeing with the Cthulhu expansion pack.
Yeah.
And the King Kong expansion pack, they're saying this isn't anything new. These are just, more famous versions of the monsters that you had in the game already, because
that's not wrong.
Yeah, no, that's not wrong, but here's why I'm okay with these expansion packs. It's not so much for the monster that you get, because the monster is just a card. It has no effect on the game.
Right.
Both of these expansion packs have introduced new game mechanics.
Yes, the Cthulhu one has the followers and stuff.
Cthulhu have the followers.
Yeah.
King Kong is coming with the Empire State Building for King of New York.
Okay.
And the Tokyo Tower.
Okay, sure.
For King of Tokyo. I guess there's an aspect of the game where you can move Kong up these things.
That's neat.
Yeah, it's a
new mechanic.
It's a new mechanic, and so I'm totally okay with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, King Kong being included into King of Tokyo, can Godzilla be far behind?
I don't see why not.
And if he is, what will his ability be?
One can hope for atomic breath, some sort. I've always wanted to see, as much as I love King of Tokyo, I would love to see a board expansion, which we're kind of seeing with King Kong.
Well, King of New York is kind of that.
Yeah, I would like to see a bigger board and more kind of environment destruction.
King of New York, again, has that.
Something let's say, okay, if you're trying to attack a monster and there's a building in between you, the building absorbs one of your punches.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So if you roll 3 punches, only 2 go through the monster.
All right.
So, yeah. But then again, things like that, you change the core, what makes it work and what makes it fun and quick. It might not always work out. So,
true, touche.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. So, probably the biggest event that happened for all of us last week. More so Drew than me, but I enjoyed it, regardless of what he thinks. Nintendo had one of their directs Nintendo Direct. It's not really a press conference.
Nope.
It's just a presentation to the fans of here's what's coming in the foreseeable future.
Yep.
And we got a lot of cool stuff in the Nintendo Direct. Most importantly, we got to see what Mario looked like without a shirt on.
Apparently, this took over the internet.
I don't. There are things that I see, and when I see them, I'm like, oh, that's going to be internet fodder for days. I saw this, I was like, oh, look, Mario's running around on a beach.
Yeah.
And then the next day I see like
mass hysteria.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Dude's on a beach. Let him chill.
I can't. There is no predicting the internet and its in its mysterious ways. Why is that a thing?
I don't know.
Mario can't go on the beach? What's the deal?
I think if anything, Mario deserves a little R&R on the beach.
Absolutely. The last time he went on vacation, he ended up having to put on a stupid jetpack and clean the place up.
I mean, an awesome jetpack.
Yeah,
best Mario game ever.
Wow. I'll have what he's having, please.
I'll say my favorite.
Okay.
Mario game.
Because wow. Yeah, get ready, man, because Switch is about to have a big holiday season with Mario Odyssey and the bundle, and if they got the units out, it's going to be... Yeah, that's going to do some damage.
Yeah, well, we knew Mario was going to be great.
Absolutely.
It goes without saying
but let's move on.
Was going to be great. Let's talk about some other
more
stuff.
Stuff came out. So
new stuff has come to light.
New stuff has come to light, man. We got that Octopath Traveler game from Squaresoft, from Square Enix. It got a little more shine in the Direct. And a demo, which I have only... here's the thing. The demo was very inconveniently timed for me. I downloaded the demo. The next day, Metroid Samus Returns came out. Kind of a problem. Because I haven't had a chance to play Octopath. But the demo is out, so you can play it.
I know.
Visually, it's cool. It's super
fantastic.
cool looking.
It's like traditional pixel art.
But it's in the Unreal Engine.
It's in like Unreal and 3D, and pixel art's mapped over a 3D model, and it looks incredible. This is
and the storyline branching.
Yeah,
like characters all interact.
There's 8 different characters.
Yeah,
I guess they all come together at the end, but like
you only play as one at a time.
One character at a time, and I think there's like 5 or 6 hours of gameplay for each character. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it was more. This is, in all likelihood, this is probably going to end up being called Final Fantasy Travelers.
Kinda.
Yeah.
And I guess all your dialogue options and choices, like, all can affect the game.
Yes.
And your interactions with people. That's pretty cool.
But the thing that got me the most excited, of everything I saw in the Nintendo Direct, this is the thing that got me the most excited.
That's interesting.
This is the thing that got me going, okay, I think I really, like, I knew I wanted a Switch, but I think I was like, all right, I might have to burn a birthday Christmas combo on a Switch, which I would get the Mario package.
Oh, yeah.
I said that's kind of what I would be waiting for, is the Mario Odyssey bundle in. Not crazy about the price, though. But
what'd they say it was?
$380.
$380.
You get special edition. You get the Switch, Mario Odyssey.
Okay.
Special edition Joy-Con controllers.
They're both red. I do like that, to be honest.
And a special Mario carrying case.
That's all right. It's not bad. They're throwing a case in for you. It's not bad.
Give me standard controllers. Keep your case. Let me keep $30.
I feel you. At the same time, it's not a bad deal.
No, I mean, give it like a standard budget case is probably going to be minimum $20.
Yep.
So this way you get a nice case. Granted, don't know. I don't see myself leaving the house with the Switch very much.
I do.
Well, you're a different animal.
I am. I am an animal, a creature of habit, if you will. But
no, Octopath, because the battle system looks very classic, traditional JRPG.
I'm with you there.
What I'm excited about.
If you don't have a 3DS, unfortunately, I would tell you, if you're looking to scratch that itch, man, Bravely Default and Bravely Second are like just what you want.
I could have got Bravely Default for PS3.
No.
Yeah, it was in the PS3 marketplace.
No, that was a 3DS exclusive, sir.
If not, I'm pretty sure.
Bravely Default and Bravely Second for 3DS exclusives.
Well, I know, like, going back to even, like, the original Game Boy Advance.
They were exclusive to 3DS, though.
No, I'm just talking about traditional JRPGs in general. That was the place you want to go. Or nowadays is mobile, if you want a traditional JRPG.
Yuck. Before I get back onto the good stuff, just because you brought up mobile, have you seen those HD, and I'm air quoting, remasters of the Final Fantasy games?
I'm talking
for mobile?
about the ones that they were just a straight port.
That's fine. Have you seen them though?
Yeah,
that with the redrawn art.
Yeah.
Oh God,
yeah.
No, but kill it with fire. Hank Scorpio GIF. Oh God.
And Homer, if you could kill some people on the way
Jesus.
out, really help me out.
Whoever did that should be shamed.
Yeah. No,
Anyway,
I'm talking
back
about
to the
like
good stuff.
The direct ports.
That's fine. Back to the good stuff though. What else did we get? We got a lot. There was a lot in that direct, actually.
You got a very big surprise.
Oh.
That came up earlier in the show.
The one that got me full tilt, like mind blown. So, it's cool that we're getting a lot of these games. And there's going to be some indie love. There's a lot of indie love actually coming to the Switch, which is fantastic. Like the new SteamWorld Dig game. Oh, dude, SteamWorld Dig was so fun. So I'm really happy that the new one is. If it's not exclusive, I think it's a timed exclusive for the Switch, which is very cool. So I'm psyched about that. But that's not the one that really got me excited, even though it is exciting because SteamWorld Dig is awesome. No, Bethesda threw down the gauntlet, sir. So Bethesda just apparently decided, like, you know what? We like what we see here. Here, Switch, Nintendo fans. Here's Doom, 2016, the new one, the one that is like one of probably my favorite game of 2016 by a mile. On my Mount Gamesmore. I mean, as a franchise, Doom is on my Mount Gamesmore, but I mean the new one. It was better than I could have ever hoped a Doom game could be in this day and age.
Yeah.
And now you're saying, oh yeah, we're putting it on Switch. Play it wherever you want. Okay, I will. Oh my God. Please, yes. I will buy that game again in a heartbeat. But they weren't done.
Have they said that it's just like a redid version of that game?
Yep. It's the full version with all the DLC. Even though all the DLC is multiplayer DLC, they didn't do a single-player campaign or anything, which I would have loved, but they didn't do. It's the full shot, though, on Switch. Cool. I mean, because I know for a fact that there are a lot of Nintendo players that did not buy it on PS4 or Xbox One. I mean, I did. I bought my PlayStation 4 for that game, to be honest with you. So, for me, it's just gravy, because now I get to play it anywhere on any console I want.
I think, like, the PS4/Xbox One versions obviously are going to be graphically superior, might be more immersive experience, but it's just nice to have that portability.
Absolutely, that's the beauty of the Switch. It's the full. I'm not limited to anything. I can take it wherever I want.
Yeah,
I want to sit down and play it. I can. I want to take it with me. I can. I travel with it. It's great. Oh my God. Talk about convenient. It's just the options. It really does feel like as a concept. Before I get into Bethesda's second announcement, as a concept, the Switch is living up to everything that it promised. It really is the next kind of like, this is how it should be. I should be able to just take my game and go. This doesn't have to stop in my living room. It doesn't have to anymore.
Yeah,
that's great. It's amazing.
You can go anywhere you want.
Yep,
as long as you have a battery pack.
You and the battery life, my God. It hasn't stopped the 3DS from selling a gazillion units, and most games, Doom will definitely be a battery consumer for sure. But even still,
how long does the 3DS usually last on a single charge?
3 to 4 hours, same as a Switch.
Yeah, that's
let that
not a
sink
good
in.
thing for the Switch.
Let that sink in. No, it's fine. I mean, that's acceptable. If it's acceptable for the 3DS, it's acceptable for the Switch. I mean, I don't see the problem at all.
It's because you're biased.
It doesn't seem to be biasing anyone else buying 1 million 3DSs in the world. I'm sorry, 100 million 3DSs in the world. No one cares.
The battery life is fine for a 3DS.
Hang on. Why is hang on. You're telling me the battery life is fine for the 3DS?
Yes.
An inferior console to the Switch. It's fine for the lesser console to have a lesser battery life than
the superior console should have a superior battery life.
So the one that is known to be more resource amazing and intensive, having the same battery life as one that is less intensive, that's somehow not cool.
The Switch should have better...
I think it's a minor miracle that it runs that for that long at all.
The Switch should have a minimum 5-hour battery life, regardless of what you're playing. Especially for the price that you're paying for it.
I think you're hilarious, and I'm not the biased one here. I don't think you know how batteries work. But in any case, don't look at me like that. It runs just fine, thank you. It hasn't stopped the Switch from being a monster success. So, take your salt back to the mine, sir. Bethesda wasn't done.
No.
Doom is already like, yes, sir. May I have another? Yes, you may, as it turns out. Granted, not in the same release window as the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 version, but the Switch is also getting Wolfenstein 2. The new Wolfenstein.
Yes.
2.
The reboot of Wolfenstein, the sequel to the reboot.
My jaw hit the floor when they announced that. Doom being a port, that's one thing. It's a game that's already out. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Me personally, as a Doom guy, I'm excited. The Wolfenstein announcement was a step more, because that game is it's getting a lot of hype. It's not even out yet for the other two consoles, and it's going to be a great game. The first one was fantastic. It was probably the best shooter, one of the best shooters I've played in a while. Not as good as Doom, but again, Doom's a very specific thing. There's very specific things I love about Doom. But Wolfenstein was awesome. That game was seriously good. So the sequel being ported to the Wii in January? No. It's coming. It's coming in 2018. That's all I know.
Yeah.
A little bit after the other two. Oh my God. Okay. Cool. Wow. Let's go.
Yeah. That was a big surprise, I'm sure, for everybody watching.
Super
no
awesome.
one was expecting either of those titles on the Switch. So yeah, that's good to see that support.
And it kind of flew under the radar, but again, it's an old game, so I'm not going to get too. I'm treading carefully here, but given who the game is from, does give me a little pause. L.A. Noire is being ported to Switch, right?
Oh God, I played that on PlayStation 3. That game is freaking incredible.
I think that's super interesting that is coming onto Switch, because Rockstar and Nintendo don't have they haven't done a lot together.
And this might be an olive branch between the two of them, hopefully leading to bigger and better things.
Fantastic.
I would recommend, even though you're probably not going to go with the recommendation, I would recommend getting it on the PS4 instead of the Switch, only because they've said it's an HD remake, right?
No, straight port.
Straight port? What's the Switch's power in comparison to a PS3?
It's more power. I don't know how this is possible, but guys have done the math. It's more powerful than the PS3 and Xbox 360, but obviously not as powerful as the One and the PS4. Maybe somewhere in the middle.
If it's as powerful as the PS3, then yeah, fine, get it on the Switch.
It's at least that.
Regardless of where you get it, get it. That game was. Do you like the movie LA Confidential?
Never saw it. Yep.
All right. Well, you should see it because it's awesome.
I'll watch it when Jay watches Casino. I'm
just trying to think if I think LA Confidential is a better movie than Casino, and I think I do.
Didn't it win an Academy Award?
No, it was nominated. It was nominated.
Didn't Kim Basinger win for it, though?
She won for it.
Okay.
It was nominated the same year Titanic was nominated.
Ew.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, I don't remember all the films that were nominated that year, but I remember thinking legitimately Titanic was the worst film.
That might have been the year I got really cynical about movies. Anyway, yeah, I'm just very curious now that Rockstar is talking with Nintendo. Huh?
Yeah,
I'll take that Red Dead port anytime.
Well,
bring it on.
Wasn't there an Arkham game on the Wii U?
There was. Yes.
Okay, so I mean, it's not.
That's not Rockstar. That's Platinum Games, or not Platinum.
Was it
Epic
Arkham
Games.
Origins or Arkham? Because Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, Arkham City were all Rockstar.
Arkham City. Those weren't Rockstar.
Those were Rockstar.
They were not Rockstar. I'm pretty sure they were not. It was Rocksteady Games, I think you're thinking of, possibly. Rocksteady Games made those. I don't think those are not Rockstar games.
Okay.
Rockstar makes Grand Theft Auto. Rockstar makes Red Dead Redemption. That's the one.
Revolver Redemption.
Yeah, and then Redemption 2.
Repeat.
Put it in my veins. Red Dead is one of. Oh man, that game is amazing.
Still no news on that game.
They're keeping that one quiet, ain't they?
Yeah.
I love the first one. I love just riding my horse around the desert. It was beautiful. That game, it was just gorgeous to look at.
I remember wanting to play it, but there was something else I was playing it at the time. So
you got to trust me. Beautiful scenery in that game.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Super fun. Anyway, yeah, I'm just
it was a good direct.
Good stuff happening for the Switch, man. I'm excited.
Yep.
Very exciting.
There was like they dropped some stuff that we kind of knew was coming.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2, we knew about that.
Chronicles looks pretty. Doesn't. I mean, beyond that, it doesn't.
Not my style.
There's just something about it that doesn't interest.
It's not my style. It's a very
new stages for Splatoon 2.
Yep, that's cool.
Some
new ARMS stuff.
Yeah, new ARMS characters.
Not for me.
You not big in the ARMS?
No. I mean, it was cool, but I think Alan's more into that than I am.
Okay. All right. I believe that wraps it up for the news for us, which means
that's it. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No news for the dumpster fire. Thank God.
No.
Oh,
2 weeks now.
Oh my God. What a relief.
There have been things in the past 2 weeks, but like we said, we're kind of,
I'm good.
We're waiting for the big like backdraft explosions from the fire. We don't need to focus on the little stuff.
Let it burn. Let it burn.
As the Penguin said in Batman Returns, burn, baby, burn.
That's correct. All right.
Time to rustle some papers. Oh, Drew.
Yeah.
I love this show.
Okay.
So much fisticuffs. So much action.
This is a lot. There's a lot in this episode. A lot of stuff going on here. We're at a lot of pacing here.
Yep, we are past the halfway point. This episode's episode 5, Take Shelter. As we open up the episode, we have guns, and Gao.
Yeah. Given how the last episode ended, my first note is this is not where we left off.
This is not my save point.
Yeah, what happened here? Where am I? I'm in this other place, and we have all these crews getting together with guns, and Madame Gao, and the guy in white, and they're all lock and loading.
Yep. So now you're still. Have you gone beyond this episode, or are you still going?
No, I'm still rolling one episode at a time.
That's cool. I think it gives a unique perspective to this particular show that we're covering.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there. We're getting things are coming to light, as we said.
So what stood out? Like, what really hit you in this episode? What stood out to you?
Well, a lot seemed to happen in this episode. We had a lot of fights. We had a lot of locations and places and characters.
Yeah.
Just like basically everyone is in this episode.
Yeah. It was
in some capacity.
It was like a gear shift to a higher gear.
Yeah, kind of. Things are ramping up very, very fast. So we start off obviously with the fight in the Chinese restaurant, which our heroes survive, and Elektra, Matt, kind of singles in on Elektra, kind of leaves the team behind.
Yeah, Matt's
singular focused,
thinking with his heart, not his head.
Yep. So he drags her outside and tries to remind her of who she is.
Yeah, and Madame Gao straight up drops one of her own dudes.
She does, because they defied orders and they were trying to cap the Iron Fist.
A tap on the shoulder and a gentle reminder keeps another set of fists in the game for you.
Yeah, but this is all cannon fodder, and I think she's old enough to know that. So she got her message across. They were trying to kill everyone, and she reminds them with killing one of their own, we want the Iron Fist alive, dummies. So, okay. Also,
shoot across her nose, not up it.
That's right. That's right. Exactly that. No, you fool. They said they comb a desert, so we're combing it. Anyway.
You know what this fight scene in the restaurant this episode reminded me of? Was, ironically enough, with Daredevil being part of this, reminded me of the fight scene in both the comics and the movie in April's apartment of the Ninja Turtle movie. So just like the bad guys just kind of constantly pouring in, and just kind of the way the camera's moving around it, like going from one small contained fight scene to another small contained fight scene. I love Sawande versus Luke Cage.
Yeah, he kind of takes Luke to the limit, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's like, they say you cannot be broken. We shall see.
We shall see.
Sawande, you know what? I'm going to say something here. You may agree with me, you may not. Sawande, MVP of this episode. When you think of like all the stuff he did just from being tied up from a chair.
Yeah, he gets some shine. He gets a little shine.
Yeah.
The Japanese guy, the taxidermist, he gets a little shine too. He just has a very confident aura about him that I think is interesting. Madame Gao seems to have powers. You have to did this come in Iron Fist? Because I don't recall her having powers. Jessica had the dumpster in front of the door. Madame Gao somehow channeled her chi or something, Iron Fist style, and knocked. What is this?
She showed this not in the way they're depicting it, but she did show this in the first season of Daredevil.
Did she?
When she knocked Daredevil back a good 10, 15 feet. It wasn't like, the whole force push thing. They showed the contact between two, but she
got a little something.
She comes from Kunlun. She has been trained. There's no reason to think she is not, in her own way, as deadly as the other fingers in the hand.
I guess. Okay, fair enough.
We also see
they do seem to have some level of ability.
She can spam it too. She was doing it left and right. Danny might want to take a lesson or two.
She's spamming the fist. Anyway. Yeah. So that's that, and that's all. This is all pre-credits, by the way.
Yeah.
This is all
before the credits start.
Craziness. So.
Oh, real quick side note.
Yeah.
So Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite came out today.
Oh, it formally came out today?
Yes.
Okay.
It formally came out today. It's the first time that I can't remember when that Capcom fighting game came out, and I have little desire to own it.
Seems to be the overall consensus.
Yeah.
Although I've heard that it plays well, but graphically it's terrible.
Yeah, it's the graphic. The two biggest complaints about it are the graphics and the roster.
Well,
so
can't help you there.
It's basically a $60 upgrade to Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yep, I'm good.
Although, if I do eventually get it, which is not beyond the realm of possibility, sales and whatnot, and we'll see what DLC characters they come out with. I would probably take as my first team Ghost Rider and Strider, so I could just call the team Ghost Rider.
You're welcome. Well done. Well done.
Okay, back to the task.
That's quality wordplay. Okay, so
yes.
we got a lot of fighting going on before the credits. I gotta get this out of the way.
What's up?
One thing that's driving me nuts in this episode, and hopefully, and in previous ones, but this one it became more annoying.
Yes.
I guess it's probably budgetary. Can we just CGI out Stick's hand instead of doing the whole
extended,
my stump is as long as my other hand. Just wrap it up.
It's not something I noticed extensively, but when you mention it, I can't unsee it.
It's just one of those things. It's just
yeah.
We can do so much with CGI.
I know.
Just
and in a lot of ways, CGI is cheaper than practical.
It's a nitpick, but
I know. No,
I can't help it. Stick gets some face time in this episode. There are some scenes
in this where they just blatantly show it, and it's as long as his other.
Right. You're not fooling me here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I get you.
So we get a little more background on Alexandra.
Yes.
Now, and it's kind of implied about the others as well. This is not her first life, as it were.
No.
She has died before.
We've established that Alexandra has been around for a very long time.
Right.
There's also mention in this episode of the substance.
Yeah, whatever the substance is,
which
is bring them back.
They kind of clued it in this episode that the substance is what is used to bring them back. So one can wonder, is the substance... Because when we saw in the resurrection of Elektra,
I thought it was just people's blood.
Was the goo that she was resurrected in?
I
or was
thought-
it that grape powder they put in there?
I thought the goo was the blood from all those people that they were bleeding dry. Remember when Daredevil
Yeah.
found the farm, if you will?
Yep.
I thought that's what that was. Like, it's other people's blood and they feed on it somehow, mystically. Don't ask me how, but... So, I don't know what's going on with this substance business.
I mean, I know, but...
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Well, I've seen the whole...
Yeah, you have. I know. I'm in the dark here. I guess we'll find out.
I'm not going to spoil it.
No, please don't.
Yeah.
So, she has died before, but they used the last of this stuff apparently to bring back Elektra.
Yes.
So I guess my question is, why don't they have more? Where did it go?
Could be either it is a limited resource in what it is, or just the hand has a limited supply of it.
Well, given
'Cause
their
it's clear they
desire
used-
to go back to Kunlun,
Yeah.
or wherever the heck they want to go there,
And it's clear they used some to bring back Bakudo,
right?
who was killed in the end of Iron Fist.
Yeah, I don't like him, by the way.
As like a character, or...
His performance is a little... His accent really annoys me.
Well, I think I'm okay with it because it gives a different flavor to...
It seems like he's putting on an accent,
Man.
and it doesn't work.
And we see that him and Gao have mended fences in this
Fair enough.
tentatively. No, I get what you're saying.
It's a performance thing. That's all.
Okay.
If I'm the director, I might question that choice. Like, is that what you're going with? All right.
Give me more South Brooklyn.
Just, Anyway,
Queens.
he's the Collins dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That accent though. we got to talk about that accent. So okay, well they're trying to Madame Gao and Bakudo and Japanese guy who I don't know his name, but the butcher guy.
Yeah.
They all want to go home, as they say.
Yep.
And Alexandra, they're questioning her motive to go home.
I don't think they're questioning her motive to go home. I think they're questioning her method
Okay.
of getting them there, because they don't have the confidence in the black sky that
She
Alexandra
does.
has.
And nor
To
should
her, they have the black sky. Victory is only a matter of time.
Well, as we find out in this episode, that's not looking good.
No.
Not looking good.
Elektra takes a nap.
Yeah, you know how you joked last week about the Daredevil and Elektra and the RoboCop and Daredevil waving his hand on the driveway and Murphy, it's you and all that? That literally happens in this episode, basically. She shows up at his house.
Yeah.
And all I could hear was the guy, "Welcome, shopper.
Welcome, Shop.
Let's talk about this house."
I have something really important to tell you.
Uh-huh. It's all that. That all happens
That
here.
and the white silk robe.
I'm just waiting for Elektra to put her fist through a TV. But she doesn't. She goes to sleep in Matt's bed. So,
And
yeah.
Can we speak of Matt for a moment?
Sure.
We finally get Daredevil in this episode. Daredevil proper. Matt puts
Yeah.
on the suit.
He puts on the suit. And it
And-
looks great, by the way. I still love how he looks now.
Little touches, little refinements of the suit between season 2 and now.
It works. I like it. I
Looks
like
great.
And I'm sorry, Jess. The scarf did not look better.
No.
That little line got me.
I loved how when he shows up at the hideout and he shoots the billy club around Sawande's neck.
Yeah.
Danny's like, it's really cool.
It looks like it's kind of cool.
Kind of cool.
Daredevil's
So-
got the toys.
Yeah, and Stick wants Daredevil to be leader.
Yeah.
Because-
he thinks Danny's stupid.
Yeah.
He's
he
not
thinks Danny's
wrong.
stupid. Sawande says Danny's the dumbest Iron Fist. Poor Danny. At some point, you kind of have to feel for him. But Stick wants Matt to lead. But Matt, and we see it come out in this episode, Matt has been keeping the truth about Elektra from the rest of the team.
He has, yeah.
And when it gets to a point where Stick's like, all right, it's time to lay the cards on the table.
Yeah, and that's kind of jerky of him. But to be fair, they have all just met to a degree. I mean, it's whatever. It comes out. It's fine.
Yep.
So eventually, Stick has to kill
Sawande.
Yeah. Honestly, should have did that like way before this.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry, but this is Stick we're talking about. What do you? It's Dr. Evil all over again. What are you feeding him?
well, they wanted to get information.
They knew he wasn't going to give them any.
They gave a little bit.
Yeah, he was pretty defiant. At that point, Stick should have been like, yeah we're done here.
The story Swande told was really cool.
Sure.
When he was captured before. Yeah.
In 3 days, my men came, and by the 10th day, they were
kneeling before me.
Your men were kneeling before me. Yeah, that was kind of neat. This chair will be a throne. Yeah, okay. Sure, buddy. Okay. Stick, dryly, if I kneel right now, will you shut up? Little things in this episode kind of irk me. Not irk me, but, characters making silly decisions. So,
such as?
Okay, well, the point of this episode basically is that our heroes find out that the Hand is now going to start targeting their friends and loved ones, right?
Yeah.
So we got to get the friends and loved ones to safety.
Gather them all
together.
Same place.
So Luke goes to Claire and says, we got to get out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Danny's in the car with Colleen. Let's go. That's only good if they're actually in the car, Luke, because what do? They get out of the car. Just stay in the car, Colleen.
It's like running upstairs in a horror film.
You wouldn't have got slashed in the belly if you would have just stayed in the car.
Well, Danny instructed her to.
He shouldn't have got out of the car either. Danny.
Well, they saw the Hand show up, and they wanted to help Luke.
Luke's a big boy. He can take care of him.
I know Luke is a big boy. But you got Claire with him, so, that's a little bit of a handicap there.
Fair enough. Handicap.
What?
Handicap.
Oh, poor Stick.
Anyway.
He hand-decapped himself.
That's right. And they're fighting the Hand. So they're hand-decapped.
Oh,
hey, hand puns. And there's some dissension in the hand, as we saw.
Yes.
Would you say that there's a little arthritis in the hand? A little inflammation?
That was good. Bravo, sir. Well done.
It's in my notes, actually.
Well done.
Wrote that one down. It's not bad.
The hand's cramping.
Anyway, so we get... So, anyway, yeah, Colleen, Misty, Claire, we get this scene with Karen.
It annoyed me a little bit.
Here's why.
Of Karen's reaction.
Yeah. My notes here. Perspective, Karen. Perspective. Yeah. He's warning you, and all you can think is like, you're doing it again? Like, yeah, that's why he's here, and he's protecting you.
He says it outright. He's like, yes, I am doing it again, because if I don't, people are going to die.
Yeah. And she's all like...
It's like, Karen, you need to get over this.
Yeah.
Right now. You gotta see a bigger picture here.
He only saved your life doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I get her desire to have him not do it. Obviously, she cares for him and doesn't want to see him hurt or killed.
Right, but she also sees the benefit of him doing it.
Yes. And she explained to him earlier in the series.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get you.
Pick a side, Karen. Pick a side here. So everyone gets kind of gathered up, the good people, into what I call the Sidekicks Lounge here. I was hoping Arthur was going to be there. Alas, he was not. He's on the tick on Amazon.
Yeah. Colleen gets a bit of a gut check in more ways than one. She gets sliced in the gut.
Yep.
But then, like, she kind of cracks for a moment.
Yeah.
She's kind of realizing that she's out of her weight class, more or less, but also finds purpose in protecting those who are there at the station.
Sure. And she gets a little moral support from Claire.
Yeah.
Foggy and Karen have a little reuniting. I don't like cleaned up Foggy. This has to change.
Come on, cleaned up Foggy looks good.
He looks slimy. He looks like a bad guy now, like Wall Street style. It's not good. Gotta grow that hair out, buddy. I don't trust you anymore. We can't be friends. I mean, that's the crux of the episode. Stick does eventually kill Swande. Beheads him because he tried to kill Dan. Well, he was really an empty threat when you think about it, right? Like, he's got the piece of glass and he grabs Danny and he's like, I have the fist. Like, yeah, but you need him alive. So what's your threat here? You going to kill him? You're not going to kill him.
Yep.
Thankfully, Stick took care of this before it could be a problem for anybody. Elektra runs away from Alexandra. We got a little arthritis in the hand. And Murphy, it's you. Those are my notes.
Yep.
Elektra is maybe remembering who she is, or at least kind of.
Yeah. Fragments are starting to come together. You can even see, like, when Alexandra walks into her room, she like turns and is ready to fight. Something she would know Alexandra when she's walking in. So
Yeah.
and she has the moments of hesitation when she's fighting Matt and the one guy, the taxidermist guy, samurai taxidermist saw it and like questioning that, and so yeah, things are picking up. But I really like, this episode is a lot of fun action scenes, fighting,
Sure.
getting to see characters in a way we enjoy seeing the characters.
I
like when Luke shows up with the van. He's just got a big smile on his face.
I got you guys something.
Got something.
It's like the scene in Reservoir Dogs, the trunk scene. Come outside, I want to show you something.
Yeah.
And they open the trunk. The cop, they all laugh. If I have any this is a very fast-paced episode, and a lot kind of is revealed and a lot happens, and that's all good stuff. But if I have any critiques, now that I'm just kind of sitting here thinking about it, it's that I still don't know what the Hand is up to. What are they going to do to New York specifically that's going to lay it to waste, and why? I don't know, and they haven't told me.
Nope, they haven't.
So
they've just told you that the Hand is going to do something, and it's going to be extremely bad, and for something else, they need Iron Fist.
Okay. I mean, I'm guessing they need Iron Fist to open some kind of door to Kunlun, theoretically. That's my guess. They need Danny to open a door. That's probably what they need him for. But the whole raising of New York, I don't get yet. So the Hand is still a little bit nebulous as a overall big bad threat. So yeah, anyway. Fun episode, though.
Overall, still enjoying the series?
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's fun. Honestly, we have 4 shows converging here, but honestly, it really just feels like a Daredevil mini series,
which we're okay with.
Hey, what's this show about?
Seeing as what our show is.
Yeah, maybe it's just because he's the only one in costume.
Yeah,
if we can get Danny a costume, please.
Yeah,
it would go a long way.
Yeah.
Anyway,
nice. All right, so thought of how some time back we experimented with closing statements. Thought we might try a new thing with closing statements. I meant to mention this to you before we started recording. Forgot.
You put me on the spot here. Okay.
So for closing statements, I thought it'd be cool because we mean to keep up with the comics more.
We do.
A lot of times
I am an issue behind, actually.
We fall short, and we're bad. For closing statements, just comics in general. What'd you read this week? What are you reading that you like? What's good for you?
Wow. It's going to end up being the same stuff every week for me, unfortunately. And then I don't want it to get old on people, but there's just not a lot of new series that I'm really picking up.
You don't have to do it every week. But
that's fine. Just a quick catch me up. I'll tell you what. Can you hand me, right behind you, see the G.I. Joe there? Grab like the first 5-ish. Well, that's fine. Just grab all of them. Thank you. What have I read recently? Saga. I'm keeping up on Saga. So that's Saga number 46. This book, so many twists and turns, man.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Just
I'm reading in trade.
Tremendous.
Yeah, if you're not reading Saga, read Saga.
I don't even know what else to say about Saga.
Probably the best comic being printed right now.
It really might be. It really might be. Daredevil 25. I have not read 26 yet, but I do have 25 here.
Yes.
Which was pretty good. Maybe we could take a deep dive on these.
Yeah, it was a conclusion to the whole story arc.
So maybe we can. Yep. Maybe we'll tackle that in a show coming up here.
He's back in red.
He is back in red
permanently.
I'm very okay with this.
Yes.
This Punisher series is a thing. Here's the thing about this Punisher series.
Okay.
I'm okay with like a little anthology Punisher series. That's kind of what it is now. He just kind of does stuff. It's just the way he's written. I'm not.
Is it still boring?
Yeah, and he seems wildly out of character. He's a little quippy.
Yeah.
He's a little quippy and kind of. I don't know. He's a little. I
don't like it.
I don't like it. I know that's what I know. I know I don't like it.
Know what I like, and I don't like this.
Descender. If you're not reading Descender, put Descender on your list, man. Get into Descender. If you like sci-fi and space and robots and big epic it's super cool. It's just a really well written book. Jeff Lemire, tremendous writer, and he's doing really great work here. And I would recommend this. I would recommend Descender to anybody. It's really, really fun. Really good book.
Yep.
Southern Bastards. Jason Aaron, man. And Jason Latour on the art. But Jason Aaron's one of my favorite writers. And Southern Bastards is a tremendous book. Really heavy-duty stuff. And this is actually the first issue. This is number 17. In a few months, they had a little hiatus there, and they're back. And it's great. And Southern Bastards is really good.
Yep.
And Invincible, number 139. We're winding down, man.
Yeah, 144 is going to be the last issue, if I remember correctly.
Number 140 comes out this week. So the final storyline here, part 7 of 12, The End of All Things, as the story is called. And it's, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but oh boy, are we wrapping things up. I'm going to be sad when that book is over, man. That has been consistently one of my favorite comic books every single issue, and I don't want it to end.
Yep.
So anyway, that's what's up.
I'm doing, kind of a little more mainstream. This week was Green Arrow, new issue of Green Arrow. They're doing a hard traveling hero storyline, but they're doing it well in that it's not an aimless quest. He's like chasing down a case that's kind of taking him cross country. Team up with Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. Mm-hmm. Oliver Queen and Hal Jordan team up. It's always going to be good. Latest issue of Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps was really good. What else did I read? New issue Star Wars was good. Funny. Yeah.
Okay.
What else came out this past week? Street Fighter versus Darkstalkers.
Okay.
Fun book.
Capcom,
Just,
sure.
Fun fan service. Light fluff. That's all I really need out of it. Actually, Udon, the comic company that did...
Not the noodle.
They are reprinting their original Street Fighter series.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they're doing it issue for issue or in like smaller trades called Street Fighter Reloaded. I would highly recommend getting those.
Okay.
'Cause that series was incredible. It was kind of a light week for me this week.
All right. Something just came to me, and seeing this as a closing statement, I kind of just want to get something out there. So you know that I'm a G.I. Joe fan, right?
Yeah. New series starting this week.
Yeah, let's...
Not.
Well...
I saw they're teaming up with Mask.
Don't ask questions. All I know... Here's the thing. Here's the thing. No, what I'm getting at here is... there is a little bit of a thing happening right now in Joe fandom with the comic series.
Yeah.
And the writer, and there's some drama, and there's some... Are
you talking about Larry Hama?
No, the other guy that's doing this new stuff. So I shouldn't be surprised by this, but I kind of am, and now that it's dividing people, I'm definitely like taken aback a bit, and I just want to kind of put a little disclaimer up. So Joe fandom, I did not know this, but now I'm not surprised, but again, is apparently very... How do I want to broach this?
Might as well just put it right between the eyes and we'll pick up the pieces afterwards.
Apparently the majority of Joe fandom is very red, as it were.
As in necks?
As in states.
Okay.
So, very conservative, very anti-PC, that kind of...
Yeah. Trump support.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, probably. As a Joe fan, I didn't know that. And I just want to put it on Front Street. I ain't like that. So, if you're a Joe fan and you want to, commiserate with me, I'm going to put the wall up right away and be like, look, I like G.I. Joe for the colorful characters and, you know, the great stories that Larry Hama told back in the day and the mythology that he built and you know, that. I ain't know about all this other stuff that apparently, like most communities in comics, apparently there's just some really toxic stuff going on right now with the new writer versus the fans, and the relationship is apparently very sour, and there's some boycotts of IDW coming up because of it, because of fans.
Is the new writer like progressive?
Yes, and he likes to rankle people very intentionally.
Okay.
And he's not coming across very good either. So I find myself in this position where, like, I find the writer to be sort of and I'm just reading the information as it comes out. I'm not invested in this at all.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, I'm not reading these new Joe books. I have no real angle here. I'm just following the events as a Joe fan, and because this was all new to me, and I saw all this come out on the internet, news articles being written about it. The writer's coming across terribly, and Joe fandom is coming across terribly. And ultimately, dude, I don't want to be anywhere near this. So I'm not really sure what I'm trying to say. I just know it ain't good, and I hope that no one out there makes judgments about me being a G.I. Joe fan based on anything that's happening right now, if you even are aware of it. But yeah, it's bad. It's just bad. So I just want to...
You're kind of...
It sucks.
You're being in line with how you've identified yourself with your fandoms previously. You like these things, but you don't lump yourself in with the fan groups of these things.
I didn't even know this kind of stuff was going on in this fandom. Like,
I'm sure there's that element in every fandom.
Sure, but it's
small or big.
Joe fandom apparently is rather
I'm sure
large.
There's like militant My Little Pony fans out there somewhere.
Yeah, but I'm willing to bet they're very progressive. the bronies are not voting for Trump, sir. But in any case, it took me aback to see
that's unfortunate.
Like, some layers got peeled back on something that I'm into, and I'm kind of horrified by it, and I just want to step away and you guys all fight that out over there. I'm over here. You're on your own.
Yeah.
When the dust settles, I still love G.I. Joe for my reasons, not yours. That's it. That's
all you ever have to justify.
All
right, folks, thank you very much again for joining us. We very much appreciate it. If you would like to reach out to us, send us questions and comments to the show, you can do so at the following locations. You can find us on Twitter at Devils Do Pod. You can go to facebook.com/Devils Do Pod. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com, or you can find all these resources available to you on our website, thedevilsdopodcast.com. That being said, Drew, any closing thoughts?
Nope, you just got them. I'm good to go.
So for me, Drew, the Courthouse, and all you right-thinking G.I. Joe fans out there, yo, Joe, court is adjourned.